Okay, welcome to another Planet 6 parts video. Today's video, bumper removal. We're going to remove the rear bumper. This is a late 74, so it's equivalent to a 75, 76. The main difference between this and the newer bumpers is, well, the earlier models is this has the overriders on it. Not that it changes taking the bumper off, but there's extra support brackets underneath. And it's much more difficult to get this one off because of the way the bracket is from the frame that goes up to the back of the overrider, the bumper that holds it on. So there's not many things to undo, but what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you what needs to be undone and in which order to make life easy, because this is an absolute nightmare to get off. It will frustrate you. It's frustrated me, and I found it probably the best way of doing it, and the easiest way of doing it, providing that the nuts are not, to be honest, rusted or rotted, seized, because that will happen. Okay, so let's go underneath and have a look. So first of all, what we're going to do is, I'm going to get some more light up here. Hopefully it's bright enough we can see. So on the side, where the bumpers hold on the side, there's nut up here. Depending on what size it is, well, it could be 7/16, I think, 9/16. I get mixed up. That's the first thing we're going to take off. When we take that off, what we're going to do then is we're actually going to remove the two bolts here that houses the bracket, the hole on the side. So this whole thing is going to come off. This is key to getting the bumper off, because this actually gets in your way. From there, underneath here, this is already loose because I've already started it. You may find a nut in here, you may not. Again, this connects up to the bracket. This does have to come off because this whole bracket's going to come off with it, because that's what the overriders are attached to. The last one is going to be way up in the back there, which is the worst spot. So let me make it easier. Actually, I'm going to go this side. I've already removed it this side, just so you can see and hopefully make it a bit better looking. Okay. So you see, I've taken the screw off. I've undone the bracket. We've also loosened off the nut that's right in here. And I'm going to show you how to get to that one. This one's actually been taken off as well. The last thing I done was I put a rag over the bumper around the edges. Again, like the video in the front bumper, we don't want it, in case of moves, we don't want it to scratch the paint. And again, we'll like the other one, I'll undo the nut, but I won't take it out all the way till I'm in a better position to unscrew it, because again, I don't want to fall. As you've seen in the first, if you've seen my other video in the front bumper, it nearly hit me in the head. And that's the reason why I don't take it out all the way, is to try to prevent that. So, let's crawl out from underneath. And let's go get cracking on removing this bumper. So I'm going to try to put the camera somewhere better that we can actually see. Hopefully. Okay. So there's 9/16 is pretty much the one that, well, because this was when this was done, 9/16 is pretty much the size that we'll need all the way around. You will need a short one for the front, but I'm going to show you that when I get to that stage. That's the worst part. You have all the tools in front of you and you still can't find what you're looking for. Bit like what Bono said, can't find what you're looking for. Okay. So again, if you're going to do this and you're going to do it the following day, you can always pre-treat the bolts again, because like anything, when you go to take the bolts off, they'll take all the grime and dirt with them. So it might be as easy to get a wire brush and just brush off the bolts as best you can before you take them off. Again, because it makes life a little easier. Okay, so this one off. Now again, as I said in another video, the frame on this has been redone, so I'm lucky that these should come out pretty handy. Maybe yours is not as good. Again, if you are getting stuck and you are restoring the vehicle, I recommend heat. Get a torch and heat them up, and that should make a difference. Other than that, it's basically willpower and frustration that's going to get you through it. Ooh. Bolts are long on the top. If you're doing a chassis that has, or a frame that hasn't been done in a long time, it might be best to put a mask on and glasses, because you're probably going to eat a lot of rust that's going to fall off. It doesn't get in your eyeballs, you're probably going to chew on it for a while. And I think we've all done that at some point with these cars. Okay, there's our bracket off. So the next step, what I'm going to do is, before I get in under here, is again, we're going to grab a rag. I'm going to place it at the end. Again, if you have masking tape, you can always mask it. It's really the end piece. In case it moves, again, like I said before, this vehicle is going to get painted anyway, but doesn't mean I don't want to wreck it. In case it does move, that we want to try to protect the paint as best we can. So, this one, as I said, I've already done. There may be one in there, there may not be. Sometimes they're well done, or there should be a bolt. Now, the hard one. The hard one is the one that's right at the end of this bracket here. And the only real way to get to it is by using an elbow. So what we want is, we want our 9/16 on a short one, because there's not enough of a gap in there. And if you take it off, you realise you only have about this much plate and it has to go in and forward. So it's going to go in at a slight angle. Once we put it in by hand, we feel we've gone in. What we're going to do is tap the end with a hammer. Because most of the time it'll go on and it won't sit correctly. You want to make sure it's shoved in all the way. So we'll tap it in with a hammer. We'll have to hold with one hand, and then I'm going to put another long extension on. And that's going to bring it out pretty much just past here on the frame. So I'll lower it down the piece for you so you can see. Hopefully the lights don't get too much in the way. So when the extension bar comes back, because I'll go under here, the extension, as it comes out, the bend is going to come out and reach just past here, and that will give you good access to be able to basically to ratchet it. So right, so let me put that back. I'm going to get started on this. So we have a hammer. I'll use a small extension first to get it on, and then I'm going to have my ratchet already set with a long extension. Get some nuts out of the way. And the ideal spot to do this is from the outside, in line with the bumper. There's no easy way of doing this, other than basically we're going to hold it with a hand, well, one hand, put it over till it literally slides over the nut, and then I'm going to tap it. Because if you have really small hands, you can get in there. But this is why we use the short one. As you can see, it bends up. Oh, I didn't put the long extension on the ratchet, that would have been handy. Okay, so with this, I'll hold it with one hand. I want to try hold it as straight as possible. There you go, just crack. And again, like the other one, if you have two people, by all means, it's a lot easier with two people. And if it's down low, now I did jack this one up, but if it is lower to the ground, again, same thing. You can always put a knee under the overrider just to hold it up. So if this was the first side you were doing, I'd undo the bolt so I know it's loose enough, and then take it off, and then go to the far side and do the whole lot. I just have to undo it. So the far side, like I said, is already done. I just have to undo it by hand. So I know where I stand with it. Now, someone actually did ask me a question, why don't I do like a impact gun doing all these? Well, I do have an impact gun and I could use it, but not everybody has one. So the purpose of this video is to show that it can be done just with your standard tools. Not everybody has an impact gun, so if you don't have one, how's it done? If you have an impact gun, great. If we're doing this, it'd be off in a second. Very tiring, this, that's for sure. I can hear it moving on the far side because it's going to be loose. Let's loose this end. So what I'm going to try to do is, I'm going to show you the camera where it is before I take it out. Sorry if you can see. So you can see with the extension, when I hold it, that's where I want the extension to go. So you see it's coming just over this. It does need that little elbow. As much as you hold it straight, could you put a straight one in there? You could almost get away with it by having that elbow. Just gives you that little bit of bend, just to be able to get it to about here. This is any better, and then it will turn around. So hopefully that's. Now let's put the camera back on. Okay, really. Okay. Oh, lost camera. That's not always correct. Okay, so we're almost off of this. So once I loosen this, I know I can get it by hand. I'm going to take this out and hold it with my knee and hopefully balance it enough just so I can get my hand on the far side and get the nut out. Get knee on the overrider. Okay, there's the bolt, we're out. So this is now loose. Roll that down. Okay, so. Now I have it. I have to get up now. Now what I might do is, I have the exhaust on the car. And it popped out on me. So, not exactly the way I wanted it, because as you see the nut was still here. You can see the bolt is still in it, so it must have been not enough threads to hold it, and it popped out. However, yeah, actually, yeah, it didn't scratch it out, didn't touch. Again, that's because I had to rag over it. So, in an ideal world, this is the difference why you want two people. And again, if I was down the bottom, it would have knocked me in the mallet. So as for removing it, that's basically how we're going to remove it. There's our bolts that go in here, and you can still see in here. The bolts go in right at the back. As you can see, this whole section comes off. So again, it's not easy. It's heavy, especially these late ones, the 74 ones. So if you have somebody to help you take it off, ideally. The other thing what I could have done as well, in all honesty, is that I could have used maybe like a trolley jack or an axle stand and placed them. So when I place it down, I can place it on an axle stand and then come off, take the other end and drop it down. If you're restoring the vehicle, it doesn't make much of a difference. But you can see it's not easy to get off on your own. Same as the front bumper. Ideally, have a second person. So, yeah, that's how we get it off. And thanks for watching. If you like the video, you can give it a thumbs up if you like. Subscribe to the channel. Any comments, questions, concerns, give me a shout if I can help you any way better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we remove the rear bumper off the 74 to 75, 76. And then now we can get our overriders off if we want. You'll never get these off if they're still on. You can take these sections off prior to taking the bumper off, but to be honest, you'll probably never get it. It's too close to here. So it has to come off on one. So, thanks for watching.